Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. This is Autobot JCB here, coming to you with a brand new how to transform video. As you guys can see here, I've got a brand new figure for you today. And before we get going, I want to give a quick shout out to YouTuber Horrier, which I really hope I said that correctly, for requesting this video. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how to transform the 2005 Transformers Cybertron Megatron. I have been waiting to do this guy for a while. But unfortunately, with just like with some of my other figures, I had to wait for the necessary parts to get this guy back functional. Unfortunately, I am still missing a couple of pieces. I do not have his missiles, and I also do not have the fins that go on top of the motor. Quick side note, guys, if you guys have any idea where I can get those parts, I have been looking online for a while, but I haven't been able to find them. If you guys know where I can get those parts, or if you know maybe where I can get them 3D printed or something like that, let me know down in the comments. I would love to know, because I would love to get this guy back to 100%. But anyway, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you how to, obviously right now we have him in his car mode. I'll show you how to switch Megatron into his jet mode, and then we'll get onto his transformation. And then I'll, as a bonus, and for Horrier, this is actually for you, I will show you how to set Megatron up into the Death Cannon mode. So, for right now, we're going to go over a couple of details Megatron has while he's in his car mode, and then we will get on to transformation. So, as you guys can see here, Megatron does come with a Cyber Planet key, and unlike other Cyber keys, his is actually very unique to him. The shape of it, obviously, is supposed to represent the Decepticon, Decepticon insignia, and as you guys can see here, he also has the Decepticon insignia on his Cyber key. If you flip his key over, you will see once again another Cyber Planet key code, and this one is IH7D. I think the Galvatron toy has the same code on his Cyber key. I don't remember exactly, but I know there's a couple of keys for a few figures that actually double up on the same code. But anyway, so there's his Cyber key. All right, so to go over some details with Megatron in his vehicle mode, let's go ahead and bring him in for a close-up. Now, unfortunately, with the sheer size of this guy, as you guys can see with how big my hands are, this guy is massive. And I think, oh man, I think he's a little bit longer than the Transformer Cybertron Optimus, and that's without all of the fire truck attachments. I will show you guys a comparison later on down the road, but for right now, we're focusing on Megatron. So, like I said, here we have him in his car mode, and this is definitely not a car I would want to see ever, especially on a bad day, because this thing looks like it could honestly just tear through anything. He's got these really cool quill spike looking things right here. He's got them on both sides. Unfortunately, these ones are the only ones that actually raise up, because this right here is actually the compartment that opens up into his claw gauntlet mode when he activates his cyber key ability. Now, coming around back here, you'll notice that he does actually have these really cool like jet engines. Particularly, he uses those for when he needs a speed boost or when he's flying around. You will notice that he has a cyber key port right here, and if you insert the cyber key, you actually get some pretty cool sound effects. So we'll go ahead and give him some cyber key power. Pretty cool sound effect. I do wish it would have had a little more detail or maybe some more sounds, but hey, it's still pretty cool. I especially love the effect that when you activate his cyber key, the engines actually pop up and kind of deploy out diagonally, just like what they do in the show. So we'll go ahead and take the cyber key back out, and this one actually does stick in there pretty good. So once it gets put in, it's not going to come out unless you rip it out. And we'll just go ahead and push these down and push that back in. And there we go. And then coming over to the side, you'll notice that he's got these really cool spikes right here and right here. I'm not really sure if these really just serve a purpose other than like detailing. But either way, with all these spikes that he has on him, he looks absolutely phenomenal with this vehicle mode. Now, this is actually the biggest mold of Megatron for the Unicron trilogy, this one is actually even taller than both Transformers Armada and Transformers Energon Megatron. I actually think, if I remember right, Transformers Armada Megatron is actually the smallest of the three. Coming over to the tires, you'll see the amount of detail. They've added a little bit of tread. They've even got the bolt patterns right here. Back tires right here, I have to admit, the tread on here and then the detailing on the rims and everything is great. Coming over back here, I always thought it was weird that he had this huge gap right here, but we'll get into that later. He's got these huge fins right here. Oops, that was not supposed to do that, sorry. These huge spoilers right here on the back. I do think it's interesting is that these I really think these should be like sitting back like this and not folded forward like it does in the show, but that's how it shows. And then, of course, you'll notice that he has this massive Decepticon symbol right here. And this spot right here will actually become Megatron's chest when we transform him. But anyway, so there's some of the details for Megatron in his car mode. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna actually show you how to take him from car mode to jet mode. And then we'll get on to transformation. So make sure the cyber key is up out of the way. Now for jet mode, it's actually really simple to do. All you have to do is unpeg it from right here in the front. And it just is held together with this little pin in this little port right here. And then there are pins here and there are pins back here. What we need to do is we need to pull these whole sections off to the side. If I can get them to behave. All right, so there's a pin right there and there's a pin back here. So we'll pop, there's one pin right there. And there's the other pin right there. We'll go ahead and bring this off to the side just like this. And just off to the side just like this. And now what we'll do is we're going to actually bring it down. Actually, take that back. No, we don't have to bring it down. I'm sorry. What we'll do is we'll take these pins right here and we're gonna pop them into one of the 4 holes on the back wheel. We'll just fold this back and we'll pop it into one of those holes. Just like that. And then we'll bring this down and go just like that. And we literally just transformed Megatron into jet mode. That's literally all there is to it. I love that they made that as simple as possible because, honestly, his jet mode is just as intimidating as his car mode. Yeah, either way, would not want to see this guy coming on a bad day or any day because we know how ruthless Megatron can be when he wants to. All right. So we'll go ahead and we're going to pop that off right there. We're going to pop this off right here. And since this is actually how you start transforming them, we're just going to leave these off to the side just like this, because now comes the fun part. So we've got this all set up just like this. What we're going to do first is we're going to flip these pieces around just like this and just like this. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to come around to the back and we're going to flip this out and flip this out. And then there are pins that are on these ports right here and right here. What we're going to do is we're going to pop them off just like this, pop that off just like that. We're going to stand him up just like this, and we're going to bring his waist out just like this. And then we'll spin his hip joint around, bring it straight just like this. Or excuse me, actually turn it a little bit and make sure it's straight just like this. So we'll turn it off. I'm kind of like really picky when it comes to certain parts. So like obviously you know how like on certain joints you'll see the screws exposed. I just feel like it's always necessary to flip those around all the way just so you can't see them, just so it makes more sense. So we have this straightened just like this. We're going to go ahead and turn it just like that. And then we're going to take this whole section and bring it down just like this and line it up. So far, he looks like that. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come right here. Now, just like with turning him into his jet mode, these holes right here will actually fit a pin that is on the backside of these little rubber pieces. And then there's a pin right here that will seat into this peg hole right here. So we'll bring this in, seat that in, and then connect that on just like that. There's one of his feet. Go ahead and bring this over, connect that, and peg that into that port right there. There we go. Didn't exactly go like I wanted. There we go. All right. But anyway, there we have Megatron's legs already set and ready to go. All right, now coming back up to the top, what we're going to do first is we're going to come right here. We're going to flip this piece up and this piece up right here. And then what we're going to do is there's a pin in here. Now, the plastic in here is kind of thin. I've actually ended up pulling the plastic apart because I didn't do this right with another figure that I used to have. So sometimes it helps if you get like something flat, like a butter knife or like just basically any flat object if it helps. But we'll get this. There we go. Got it pulled apart without ripping the plastic that time. So it has these pins right here that actually peg in right here and then right back here. We're going to go ahead and bring these out just like this. Now, before we go any farther, we're going to take this and we're going to push that in just like that. And then what we're going to do is we'll stand them up a little bit. We're going to take this, we're going to flip it around, we're going to flip it up, and then we're going to flip it back just like this. Make sure you fold in these spikes right here because these will sit on Megatron's back. All right, so with this, bring it all the way around, and then up, and then fold that in, flip that down just like that. And there we have the front of Megatron's vehicle mode up out of the way. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come right here, and we're going to bring this out. Now, there are little pins on the edges. You can see a pin right there. There are little pins on the ends right there. You can see the pin right in front of my finger. It will actually slip right into a peg hole right there as you fold it out. Slip that right into that peg hole right there. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Slip that into that peg hole right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this whole section, we're going to bring it down, and we're going to line it up. There we go. Get that lined up. Now, as you do, you'll see that the peg holes right there, go with these pins right here. So we'll pop those pins in right there and right there. And as you guys can see there, we have Megatron's chest. We'll flip these pieces back just like this. Now we can actually stand Megatron up, which is nice. All right, now for his arms, it's actually pretty interesting. What we're going to do first is we're actually going to bring these down, and we're going to flip these spikes out on the end of his shoulders, just like this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring his arm around just like this, because we want these little wheels, these little clear wheels on the outside. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come right here. We're going to flip up and flip this around behind his wrist, just like this. And when you do, the pin that was holding the nose of the car together will fit right into this peg hole right here. And we'll get that seated right there. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and give his wrist a quarter turn. And we have one of his arms ready to go. We'll come over here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. There we go. Got him stood up a little bit better. All right. So we got the shoulder extended. We're going to bring the arm down. We're going to flip out the spikes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn his arm so the screw actually faces in towards his chest. And then we'll go ahead and unpeg this. We'll flip this around. And just like with the other side, we'll go ahead and peg it into the port right there. Just like that. And turn his wrist. All right. Now my Megatron is, like I've stated, I think I actually said it. This one is actually a rebuilt figure, so he's not 100%, but so far we've got him like that. And the next thing we're gonna do is you'll see his head right there. We're gonna flip up his head just like this, and then finally we're gonna flip up the horns that are on his head to give him that final touch of detail. And there we have Megatron ready to go. I definitely do not want to mess with this guy on a bad day, or any day for that matter. But anyway, so there we have Megatron transformed and ready to go. All right. And then, like I said, I think I stated this in the beginning of the video, but this version of Megatron does actually have the armor of Unicron. If you actually look at the shoulder plates right here, and then you go look at the Transformers Armada or even the Transformers Energon Unicron, these armor plates are almost identical to to those figures, which I think is a great attention to detail given the fact that he was given his power boost by Unicron. Oh, this actually came off. Hold on one second, guys. There we go. All right. So there, like I said, there we have Megatron transformed and ready to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of his weapons. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to come over to this side because he actually has, obviously I already showed you this Cyber Keyport, but he actually has one on each side of these. So with this side right here, this is actually going to become his spiked wrist gauntlet, which we saw in the show. And what we'll do is we'll insert his key, and that will deploy the spikes. And then we pull this whole piece out, and then this can actually peg right into this hole right here. Go ahead and peg it right into there. And there he has his wrist gauntlet ready to go. And then additionally, on the other side is his Gatling weapon. So we'll go ahead and insert the key again on this side, which makes that housing flip up. And then we'll push on this pin right here, which will release the whole wheel piece. And then we just turn this. Now this actually does rotate, which I love that effect because just like in the show, his barrel actually spun up before the weapon actually fired. And it just uses a similar mechanic to like the Transformers Armada Cyclonus with his prop setup. And then you can put the pistol or put the weapon in his hand just like this. And Megatron is ready to go. So there we have Megatron all armed up and ready to go. Like I said, don't want to mess with him. All right. Now, in the show, even though I think we only saw it one time, and Horrier, this is actually for you. I figured out how to do this. Megatron has his death cannon where he takes these pieces right here and actually flips them around his waist and then combines them and makes this huge charged particle blaster thing, whatever it is. I don't know exactly. We'll just stick with calling it the death cannon. And now I'm actually going to show you guys how to do this. And you can actually do this with both Megatron and Galvatron if you want. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take his weapons back off and we'll put them back in their housing. All right. So just give me 1 second. We'll go ahead and put this back in right there. And we'll take off the cyber key. Give this a turn. There we go. And then that goes back in just like that. And then we close this up. All right. So for death cannon mode, what we're going to do is we're going to bring his arms out completely straight to the side. If you have to turn his arm a little bit, you can kind of make him make it look like he's cheering, whatever. So we'll turn his arm, we'll bring it up to the front right here, just like this. Now what you'll do is you'll bring this out straight, or flip this up straight, excuse me, and then bring this down and then around, just like this. I think I might have gone out of the camera frame. I apologize. I'll do that one more time. So we have his arm, we have his wheel flipped up straight, bring it down, bring it around his waist, and then flip this around, just like this. And then what we'll do is we'll come right here. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to flip this up, bring this around, just like that. And that is not behaving. There we go. And we'll flip this around just like this. Now, unfortunately, unlike in the show, these spikes do not all stand up. But once you have these pieces flipped around, go ahead and link them back together. And then there we have Megatron in his death cannon mode. And to get it to stand up, we can actually bring his arms down and pop them up underneath in order to give it a little bit of posability. But there we have the death cannon mode. Honestly, the closest comparison I can think of for Megatron would be like his Armada full blast mode. But yeah, this is definitely not a weapon you want to be on the wrong end of. But anyway, guys, so there we go. We have the 2005 Transformers Cybertron Megatron with his vehicle mode, his jet mode, and his ult and his bot mode, including all of his cyber key abilities and, of course, his death cannon mode. And once again, YouTuber Horrier, thank you for requesting this. Thank you for requesting that. I'm really glad I could help you out in regards to the whole death cannon configuration. But if you guys have any other ideas for other Transformers you'd like me to try and do, feel free to comment below and even hit the like and subscribe button, and I will do what I can to help you out in the future. And until then, bye.